I wonder how many of us remember all the little nursery rhymes and the little sayings that we had when we were growing up during our childhood. When my sister and I used to be swinging in the backyard, we used to sing a little ditty. It's raining, it's pouring, the old man's snoring. We went to bed and bumped our head, couldn't get up in the morning. So today we're actually going to be talking about snoring. And yes, ladies, it is a fact that we do snore. I know a few years ago I went away with my sister and we shared a motel room, and I was horrified the next morning when she told me that I'd been snoring and I'd kept her awake. And I thought, no, this isn't possible. This is not me. I don't snore. So it is okay. It's not an embarrassment, that's for sure. We snore because as we get older, the throat, the palate, soft palate, and relax when we sleep. This sort of creates more restriction through our airways, which is why we end up snoring. And possibly one of the main things that we might notice after we've been snoring during sleep is the fact that we wake up with a very, very dry mouth. Now, many years ago, I actually went to have a sleep test, and they sent me home with the machine and all the things, wires and tubes that I had to hook up to myself. And consequently, I was so uncomfortable for the whole night with all this hooked up to me that I don't think I slept much anyway. But then when they measured all the data from that night from the machine, they actually said to me that I did have a small to medium amount of sleep apnea. Now, with sleep apnea, there's a lot of things that can be done in today's society. And of course, most of us will be aware that there's such a thing as a CPAP machine. A CPAP machine is a monitor with an air tube which comes into a mask which you fit over your face. Now, some of the masks can be very uncomfortable from what I've heard. But it's not only just the mask that causes the discomfort. It's the fact that the air hose is attached to the mask that's on your face, strapped onto your face with elastic, and you might even have the nasal pillows in instead of a full face mask. But it's actually the hose that is very difficult to have there hooked up to your face for when you roll over in bed. So I think, from what I know, and I know my partner has a CPAP machine, he has sleep apnea as well. And it has taken him several years, in fact, to get used to having that mask on his face. And even now, after using it for quite some years, he does still find it very, very annoying. That's probably the best word. Frustrating, annoying, uncomfortable. But having sleep apnea, and I'm not a medical person, I do know that there is a connection between, the heart rate and how we breathe when we're in a deep sleep. So if you do think that you might be snoring, there's no problem speaking to your doctor. And of course, your doctor can easily give you a referral to a sleep specialist closest to your town. And they give you the test, you know, they give you the 24-hour overnight machine test that you can take home and do. I think probably for many of us, we think that it's okay just to keep on snoring, so long as we're not annoying anybody. And you know, as we age, and I have to say this from experience, there are times when couples have to sleep in their own bedrooms, in their own beds. You know, this is one of the things that comes with aging. It's not only just when we have sleep apnea or things like that that make us sleep better in our own room, in our own bed. And it is a fact. It's one of the facts that, you know, it does take quite a lot of getting used to. You know, I think that the human touch factor in life is so vital. A lot of people that live alone, perhaps, you know, they might get somebody who might shake their hand during the day if they go out. There's a lot of people who don't get that human interaction, that, you know, skin to skin touch, which is vital. And of course, you know, by having a CPAP machine, it does allow people to keep their marital bed and have that lovely sharing, waking up to somebody and saying good morning to the person next to you, your loved one. So think about that when you're contemplating what you should do. So that's the issue of snoring, which may come and go. It might not be something that happens every single night either. So something to think about. So today is the most fabulous winter day. You might be able to hear the birds in the background there, called the wattle birds. I can't hear any other birds at the moment, but we have had the splendid wrens, the scrub wrens, the New Holland honeyeaters, and the silver eyes in this morning. When I went down to the marina this morning, the water was just like glass, and there's not a breath of wind today. The sun's shining, and you can probably see that I'm looking into the camera, looking into the sun, which is going to the west. I'm facing west, so the sun is gradually going down to meet its rest at the end of the day. That was lovely to chat with you today, and be gentle on yourself. Be kind to yourself, and do whatever it takes to make your day as good as you possibly can. Bye for now.